Welcome to the channel. I don't know if you're watching this on Centroga Surplus or 23 Degrees Sideways or Sideways Coyote. I don't know if you're watching this on YouTube or on Rumble. I'm making an attempt to transition away from YouTube completely because I'm done with the censorship. I think that playing the game is actually disruptive and dishonest to yourself. There's a point in time where you should actually just leave. I'm getting really close to that. Okay, I've had videos removed for mentioning that a friend of mine had a wife die of what are currently recognized as potential side effects of a commonly encouraged and potentially mandatory medical intervention, just because I said that, just because it happened. Just fuck YouTube, okay? So I don't know where you're watching this. I'm doing this specifically as a Santaroga Surplus video, but we'll see what happens. On Rumble, I'll try to put a note in the description, but there is a Rumble channel. I don't know if I'm going to make multiple Rumble channels or if I'm just going to put everything, all the prepper stuff, all the gun stuff, all the political stuff, into one space. It's very difficult because politically speaking, I am not normal. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a liberal. I don't, on the Santaroga Surplus channel, I mentioned my disagreement with Carl, and I get a lot of comments about how Carl is a cuck. Carl does poly. That's evil. Well, it's not. Okay? I do it too. So, I'm not J. Rando conservative here. Whatever. What you see in the background there is a power station. Now this power station, normally you cannot actually see the reflection of the mirrors into the steam tube. What this is acres and acres of computer-controlled mirrors that reflect sunlight onto a tower. This creates high-pressure steam which drives a turbine. As solar power systems go, it's actually a really cool, neat one. It doesn't scale down as well as I would like it to, but it's still an infant technology and we might get better with it. But on a normal day, you cannot see a reflection of light, okay? Excuse the adjustment there. You can't see that because the air is relatively clear and it's not diffusing 30%, 40%, 50% of the energy. But for the second straight year in a row, the entirety of Nevada, parts of Arizona, parts of Utah, Idaho are covered in smoke from California wildfires. Last year, in 2020, this was the fault of global warming. And no, it wasn't. Okay, what happened was the pandemic panic ensued and people shut down their watch systems. They were not watching for fires. They were not tracking fires. They shut down all of their maintenance and all of their slave labor. Okay, yes, basically California relies on slave labor to fight fires. That's how they work. It's a progressive Democrat state. Slave labor is how that works. So they let a bunch of the slaves out on some sort of early release or corona pandemic stuff or whatever, and so they had no slave labor. They also left the stations and the equipment and the gear to rot for a third of a year before they tried to go back and start the engines. They literally left this stuff in place and just left, went home. And then they tried to maintain social distancing rules on the fire lines when they did manage to get a couple firefighters last year. And the whole thing was a joke. It was a joke you could see from space. And yeah, lightning strikes started some of the fires. That happens. That happens every couple of years. But Gavin Newsom blamed lightning on global warming. Without global warming, there would be no lightning. No lightning at all. And of course, I can't tell which is the bigger fucktard here, Gavin Newsom for saying that, or the people who uncritically believe it and just parrot. Anyway, so this year, what we have is Gavin Newsom once again fucking the rest of the West by not having the fires fought. Literally, the one that's worst right now, up in the Sacramento Hills, up in the foothills, was uncontainable due to the state of California refusing to allow helicopters to douse it on the first day or to go monitor it until afternoon on the second day. It's insane. You can't have fire jumpers, you can't have firefighters who are federally certified wildlife firefighters in California unless they go through a special California certification process. This is stupid. It's so stupid that it is almost certainly intentional. It's pretty certain at this point that Gavin Newsom, state of California, progressive Democrats, DSA, whatever group there, the establishment, is deliberately allowing the fires to go unchecked and inhibiting the firefighting process in order to make political points and do something about some global climate emergency because California won't fight the fires. Well, here I am suffering from normalization. Normally speaking, when you get to an air quality index of about 90, and we're about 170 where I am right now, about 90, I leave. I go. I take off, right? Last year, that meant actually leaving. I traveled all the way through Nevada, all the way through Utah, and still didn't get clear of the smoke. Missouri was where I ended up going to get clear of the smoke. It was pretty bad. Normally, 90 is where I take off. I've become so normalized to this, even though I can't breathe, I can't exercise, I can't do anything, that I'm just looking at an AQI of 170 and being like, hey, it's under 300. I might be able to, not live on an inhaler today. That's pretty bad. It's amazing. I'm driving north to south, the entire state of Nevada, a couple times a week because I'm moving the family and moving a bunch of stuff. And so I don't have the option of just taking off for the Gulf Coast right now, which is what I would do. I would just say, yeah, fuck this for a game of sailors and let's go fish in Galveston or something. Just something. Because this is stupid. This is insane. This is unhealthy. This is destroying people's lives long term, and there's no reason for it. But it is so normalized at this point throughout the entire state of Nevada that people are now considering this, worse than the worst smog day in LA, to be a good day. How fucked up is that? Just... Yeah, and you'll have to excuse the language. I'm going to cuss like a fucking sailor, but this is fucked up. This is some shit right here, okay? And I'm about to drive into the worst sections where it's going to be in the 200s and 300s, load up some stuff. I have to hang out for a couple days because I have to visit someone, and then back down. And the health damage, the quality of life damage is such that I'm about to just leave a bunch of stuff behind, cut my losses, have a fire sale, and just be done with this. And I'm not trying to sound negative because this isn't exactly negative. It's, I'm being forced to look at my own priorities and what is valuable in my life. But also, I don't think everyone is dumb. I think that this is one of those signals, that what you're looking at right now is one of those things that people notice more and more and more. And the power games of the establishment aren't going to survive deep scrutiny when they keep pulling stuff like this. And I think that there's a very positive outcome to that. I don't think it's going to be an immediately positive outcome, and I don't think it's going to be without pain, but I think it's going to be a definitely positive outcome. Well, not for the establishment. So stay sideways, stay safe, keep shooting, whatever your little magic potion is there, and just remember, an AQI over 60 isn't normal. 170, 300, this stuff that we're dealing with for weeks, for literally months on end now, this is not right. It's managed. You should probably be pissed off at the people who are managing it.